So they want to know what cities you're from. Let me run the microphone back up.
Hi, I'm from Lisbon, Portugal.
I'm from Santander, Spain.
All right, welcome. I have present you with a flag from our club. I have one for you as well. There you go. Okay, thank you so much. Well, okay, go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. All right, so Steve, you're up.
Oh, Steve's back.
You have some dirt on? We're going to give you a break.
Yeah, I've been in South America for 11 weeks, so a lot of done bandstand. Thanks to Dennis Gams and Don Wentz and a few others. But the roof is on, and basically from halfway up to the top is finished. Now we've got to work on the bottom, get the concrete poured. So I think Saturday morning, if I get enough people that want to work, we're going to work, say 8:30. I'll send out an email and we can respond back, make sure we got enough people to put it together. If you're going to find me, I'm going to get to tell you stories about Colombia.
Tell me a story.
Well, I was in Colombia for the Flower Festival, which is a very old tradition, and it's like a party out of the Twilight Zone. It never stops. They play the same song over and over again for 7 days. The same food, but they always tell you it's really special. But it's the same special thing that you had to do. And actually, it's wonderful. But then you know, to deaden the pain of that, I drank some coffee wine. Coffee wine, you know, the coffee bean actually has a skin and a pulp. And so after they make all this coffee, they're left with all this pulp. And they make wine, and it tastes just like Jim Kincannon's finest red wine with a shot of Kahlua in it. Don't try it.
All right. So what do you think for having so much fun and drinking coffee wine?
We'll do 50 to the club and 50 to the local foundation.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mike.
Yesterday we wanted to try to get all of the stuff over to the, excuse me, we wanted to get all of the stuff over to the school for barbecue tomorrow. And I had made arrangements to use their big refrigerator there at the school, and went down, and it said, we'll have everything ready for you by the 18th. And it wasn't. So they said, we'll have it by the end of the day. And they didn't. So consequently, we do now have it ready, and I need some help in transporting it from Costco over to Maryland Avenue School today. And I'm looking for some volunteers. We desperately will need to have at least one truck. I've got a truck, but this is a lot of stuff that we're taking. And I will need to have some help. Tomorrow, we will have the setup, and that's going to be approximately 3 o'clock. And we're going to need to have people who will be helping do the setup. We will also need to have people who are going to be cooking, and we'll also have greeters and just the folks that can show up, and all appreciate it, believe me. Any questions?
What time are you picking up at Costco?
Picking that up approximately 2:30 if we can do it. I'm going to go directly from the from here, get the truck, and then head directly to Costco.
So bring the garbage truck.
Better not be a garbage truck. Yes.
You know when a man goes to bring their cops and their vest, please.
Yes.
Always a common vest.
All right, thanks, Mike. Okay, speaking of barbecue, I have a couple things. I have this aprons for Sam. Sam? Oh, Sam. Hey, here you go.
I didn't run it a drawing.
No, it has your name on it. There you go. $5 delivery charge though. One for Ken. Same deal. All right, Michael.
Thank you. How many of you guys went to the concert? Can I see a show of hands? Look at this. And how many of you enjoyed it? Fantastic. It was wonderful to see you there and see a whole bunch of other people. I received some emails from people that haven't ever had seen a Muriel in person. The word wow was the word. And that's all because of the thank yous I'm going to give you right now. Dale Miller, Mark Stoker, Beth Wilson, Boffmans, of course, Travel Bug, Kathy and Pat Boyle, and Barbara Hickman, and Bob Hickman, the Independent newspaper. Let's see, everybody that donated and didn't make it, and there are some of you that donated and did make it, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And Irv Stores put together a little cheat sheet here of what we did in terms of money. I didn't touch the money, so it looks like we've got close to $1,000 that we made for the music scholarship. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. All right, Beth.
Another one.
Yes, I warned you about it. First, I want to say thank you to Michael for all the work he did for the wonderful concert with Muriel. And I'm here I kind of take care of notifying the schools and the music teachers and all of that. So we have started that because remember, we're going to be having our music scholarships actually this fall in November. So we are notifying the teachers and giving them the applications for their students now. But yes, we have something entirely different, an elegant evening of chamber music. And you can see the people here who are in it. We have Nan Davies on flute, Muriel Haupt on cello, and Clark Streeter on piano. You may not know, he's a fine, fine pianist. And so they're going to be having a concert on October the 8th. So please mark your calendars for that. It's going to be in the Bankhead. But because the Bankhead, of course, is... it's not that exciting. We were excited. But because it's a 500-seat theater and we're not expecting quite 500 of you, Scott he's discovered a lot of little areas for smaller venues within the Bankhead. So depending on how many people we think are going to be coming, we might be in one place or another. So we have a mystery as well as a concert that's coming up. We will be having a printed program and we are looking for sponsors. We have different levels of sponsors. So to find out about that, this is just kind of your first, we'll have flyers, this is just your first notification of it. But because we are looking for sponsors whose names would be in the program and also businesses want to put ads in, please let either me or Alan Frank know that, and we will be getting more information out to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Put on the official cap. It's his thinking cap.
You know, the concert was really good, and I won another drawing on this day. And I also went to Hawaii. So I'm all ready for $50 for the local foundation and $50 for music scholarship before we even start. Yeah. Okay, the first annual community spirit. That's me, got my head on backwards because that's what I'm doing right now. I have been pounding the pavement for the last couple of days. If you go to our webpage, you can click on this and there's an additional information piece on there. It'll take you right to the application for the run. And There was a question? It's a fun run. That's why I'm running backwards. I'm trying to keep an eye on you as you're running forwards. Yeah. So anyway, when you click on it, you'll come to our application for the event, and you can sign up. However, that's not where the problem is. I think we're going to have plenty of applicants for that. We are actually nationally advertised right now through Active Sports. So if you go to onyourmarksports.com, and it'll come up. You go down to our race, and there's about 40 races there. People look at this as an ongoing place to find races. You click on it, and there we are. You can register online. If you live in Ohio, you can come to Livermore and race. There's lots of people that come to these kinds of races. I talked to my sister-in-law, who every weekend runs. She said, "Oh yeah, I saw your race on the webpage. We're going to sign up." So we just had 24-hour fitness, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to sign up a team to join the race." That's not where my problem is. Right now, if you go on another part on our webpage, you'll say sponsors. Okay, and I'm not throwing a big enough web. I've got about 5 sponsors for about $2,500. I need about 50 sponsors for about $4,000 to $8,000 for this to be in at least a break-even mode. So what I brought today is a sign-up sheet. I'm not interested in getting money from you. I wouldn't mind taking money from you. However, who do you know? What I'd like to have you do is give me one lead for somebody, a company you know, the person I need to contact, and the phone number for them. This is my problem. I've been up pounding the pavement for the last 3 days. I've walked into probably 40 businesses. I'm walking through the front door. I hand them one of our programs, and I say, "Oh, we're running this fun run." "Oh yeah, thanks." I'm coming in through the front door, and they don't know me from hole in the ground, but they know you. And so what I like to do is, like when I was a kid, you knock on the front door and ask for a cup of sugar. Somebody went inside, got sugar, gave it to you. But if you walked into the kitchen door and knocked on it, you came and sat down at the kitchen table and talked for a while, and you got a cup of sugar. I want to come in through the kitchen door when I go to visit people, so that's what I'm looking for. Okay? So I'm going to pass this around. We have 120 members in this club. If every one of you gives me a lead, I have 120 leads. Right now, the 5 people that I brought up as leads, I've got sponsorships from. I need another 50 or 60 leads. When we get done, we'll have a t-shirt with all these people on the back of it. And we have, left the t-shirt of all the things I did today. I forgot to bring the t-shirt with me. There's a t-shirt from the last one, hook and ladder run. It has, probably 35 people listed on the back side of that shirt. That's what I'd like to have. So I'm going to pass this around. If you would please put in the name of the company you think will support this event, the contact person or phone number, I'll take care of the rest. And otherwise, we have a meeting today for the committee at 2 o'clock at my classroom. And tomorrow I have to go back to work. All right, thank you.
Jim.
2 weeks from today is the last day for knitting grant submissions. This is a really good time to turn them in. For the teachers, it basically gives them an asset that they can use for the whole year. But for many other people, this is a time transition between the summer and the holiday season when the people carry out projects and things like this. So Eagle Scouts, we've given money to. Individuals who've done things for the community, we've given money to. Kathy Coyle has done a really nice job and put the application on the front page now, right? So it's in both PDF and Word formats, you can get that. And in addition, we brought some hard copies, and after the meeting you can get them from Randy Slentz, who's over there at the table. So please help us. If you're going to be a sponsor, help the people who are applying to get the right information down. Take an interest in it and try to get them to get that money. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Pat, come on up. So what's been going on? I guess your son's been involved in some things, or?
Yeah, he has been there.
We were really fortunate, and we thought the club would be delighted to hear Scott's PhD thesis seminar talk. We thought this would just delight them, but a talk in biochemistry. So we've gotten a special segment here that we're also going to be soundly fined for.
Okay.
You're going to fine us before
Let's just see.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Hey everyone, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon for Scott Boyle's defense thesis defense. Amazing Scott. And I think that's how we all feel about Scott here at UCSF. Lab. All the guy is really an amazing scientist. And look at this CV. We've got one traveling door, SF, fellowship. These are all papers he produced prior to graduation. It's amazing CV. Scott is remarkable, and he, I think we all recognize in the lab and all his colleagues and everyone that he is really a true Renaissance scientist. I'd like to end by congratulating Scott. All that money for college. Awesome. The payoff is great. Now here, you're gonna owe too.
Well, I hope we fooled you all with that one.
That was great.
Some of you have seen him play yo-yo here before, as he was a world-ranked yo-yo player. Anyway, in honor of Scott and all that he's done, we have decided that we would like to start a scholarship fund for one of our Ready students this year in order to send one or possibly two of them to a very high-level science camp. So I'm going to let Pat explain how much it is and what we plan to do.
So briefly, Tech Trek is an AAUW-sponsored science camp that's a week for entering 8th grade girl students to go to the Stanford campus, have an immersion experience there. It takes about $1,000 to send the student there. We have one particular Ready student that would be an ideal candidate. Kathy and I are going to pledge $500 for that. And then we'll also match up to $250 additional dollars. If we got the match successfully, we'd have $1,000. So you can see us after if you want to do the match. And JR and others are looking at schemes and approaches. Schemes is not the right word, but the methods by which we can make these tax-deductible donations through the foundation. There's some care and some protocols that have to be carefully respected. But if you're interested, see us after, and we'll take care of that. Thank you very much, JR.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, birthdays and anniversary time. So first up, August birthdays, Mr. Phil Dean on August 28th. Happy birthday, Phil. TJ Gilmartin celebrated a birthday evidently on August 5th. Happy birthday, TJ. Happy birthday, teacher. Dave Greiner, there he is. Happy birthday. Oh, I gotta go slower. We got a cupcake delivery challenge here. Those are for anniversary. You're gonna need those. We got a lot of anniversaries this Okay, are we caught up on cupcakes? Chuck Hartwig. Where's Chuck? There he is. All right, happy happy birthday, Chuck. Chuck's August 30th. Chris Isaac? Chris? Oh, there he is. All right, happy birthday, Chris. Steve's on the way. There you go. Okay. Al Lewis. Al's birthday's on the 25th. Happy birthday, Al. Jack Noonan? Is Jack here today? Oh, Maui, that's the way to celebrate your birthday, right? Lori Souza. Let's see if Is Lori here? Lori's birthday is on the 13th, last week, I guess. And then Jen Tate has a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Jen. So we got oh, did we miss one, Keith?
Our guest co-chair, Professor King, it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday! You heard about the cupcakes, huh?
Hey, Ken, I just went in between.
Jen over here. Okay. Happy birthday song.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Australians. Happy birthday to you.
So anniversaries, and evidently August is a great month to get married. We got lots of anniversaries here. First up on my list is Tim Berry. There's Tim. There he is. Tim and Claudia, 39 years.
Wow.
Married at a very young age, I imagine. All right. Happy anniversary. Lance Cavallari. Lance and Adina on August 18th. That's today. Today is celebrating their 30th anniversary. Congratulations. That's great. Al Frank. There he is. All right, Al and Peggy on August 3rd celebrated 47 years. Wow. Jim Hannon. Jim and Marianne, August 20th, 55 years. Dale Miller and Cardi. Oh, there he is. Take a picture of yourself. 52 years on August 24th. Congratulations. That's Jack Noonan, he's celebrating his anniversary, celebrating his birthday. He's not here today, but 56 years. Lance Pirovich, not here. He's out celebrating with Carol, I guess, 37 years. Niall Runge. No, Niall's here. There's Niall. Niall and Jean on August 6th, 27 years of marriage. Congratulations. Kate Runyon. Didn't see Kate. Kate and David, 33 years on August 31. Carolyn Siegfried. There she is. Hi, Carolyn. Carolyn and Chris, also today. Is that correct? Yesterday. Oh, yesterday. We'll have to update that. 31 years. Congratulations. Herb Sowers, Herb and Patty, on August 4th, 42 years of wedded bliss. Congratulations. Jen Tate, 2 times up this month. That's great. Jen and John on August 15th, 23 years. Congratulations. Keep Christian running here. Mike Thompson and Anita. August 24th, 24 years. Congratulations. Tom Vargas. There's Tom. Tom and Cheryl on August 23rd, 40 years of marriage. And our winner this month is Arnie Kirkwood, and Arnie's lovely wife Margot on August 30th are going to be celebrating their 63rd wedding anniversary. They're out celebrating. So anniversary song.
Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How about cooking something up for me? I say, hey,
Okay, now I welcome one of our own, Scott Kenison.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Scott Kenison, if you didn't know that already, and I am the Executive Director at the Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center, which is very exciting. I wanted to give you a little background. I grew up in New Jersey. Somebody's from New Jersey. Okay, of course. I grew up in a town called Ringwood, New Jersey, and now I live in Livermore. There's something wrong with that. But I'll start off with a brief history of how did I get involved in the theater, so sit back and relax, because it's a long story. No, seriously. I have a degree in vocal music, and pursued a career as a singer for a little while. We can sit down over a drink and I can tell you stories about life on the road, which will make you understand why I decided that I wasn't going to be a performer and live on the road. So I decided I wanted to work in the theater, but in the business side of the theater. Initially, I started working for a theater ticket agency, an international theater ticket agency called Edwards & Edwards Global Tickets. And I managed their sales office. I worked with travel agents to get people to buy tickets to the theater in London and New York and Paris and Berlin and Madrid and all over the world. And one of the great things was I got to travel to all these places, which was a lot of fun. Then I moved to Washington, D.C. with my now husband, David Shapiro. He had an opportunity to head a school there. So we moved to Washington, D.C., and I became involved in a project there, the Atlas Performing Arts Center. It was a movie theater that was built in 1938 and was on one of the streets in Washington, D.C. that had been decimated by the riots in the late 60s and had not come back. And the Atlas Performing Arts Center was the catalyst to bring this neighborhood back. So I was there for for 9 years, and during that time I was involved in everything from construction and design and developing a core of arts partners to work with us and present in these in the Performing Arts Center. It's very similar to the Bankhead in the Bothwell, the Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center, that was one of the main reasons that I was most attracted to this job and moving to Livermore, is the connection between the community and the Performing Arts Center. The Atlas was what we called a community-based Performing Arts Center. We were there to serve the community, both the residents of the community, but also the artists who lived in the community. And while I was there, I worked on developing a festival, we did a film series, we did all sorts of great things. A lot of those grew out of the lean times in 2008 when the economy tanked. We all know what happened there. And we had just opened, just as the Bankhead had, and we had to find a way to get through those tough times. So we made things happen. We did festivals, we did the film series, just to keep people working. There we go. So the things that made me most interested in this and makes my job most exciting are programming, supporting the resident companies, and staying connected to the community and living our mission. It's something I always say to the staff at Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center is we always have to go back whenever we're making a decision and say, does this serve our mission? What is our mission and does it serve our mission? Our mission is to offer a broad range of arts opportunities, experiences to engage our diverse community, and we are the heart of a vibrant arts community. Now, of course, this is not written in stone, but I think this is a pretty good objective for us to aim for. I see Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center as a beacon for the arts, that we are something that's going to attract people who are interested in the arts, but also just shine out from the center. So those are the things that made it most interesting to me. But what I think you're going to find most interesting is the programming aspect of it, which is very complex and it is very interesting. How do we choose the people who are performing on the stage at the Bankhead and at the Bothwell? There are so many considerations to be taken into account.
We're already working on the 2016-17 season. I have a few things booked already, which is kind of daunting in many ways. And Ed Estrada, who's the production manager at the Bankhead Theater, I work very closely with, and we're going for the first week of September to Vancouver for the Western Arts Alliance, WA, as it's lovingly known. And we'll be meeting with a lot of agents there. And one of the things that I am finding and I'm trying to sort of break out of is the booking process is very agent-driven. So a lot of my day is spent responding to or reading proposals from agents around the country who want their acts to come to the Bankhead. They want us to pay them good money to bring their artists into the theater. And while we'll still continue to do that, we get a lot of the information that way. What I'm trying to do is to say, for us to drive that a little more. So we say, these are the people that we want, these are the things that we want to happen on the stage, and go out and find them, rather than wait for the agents to come to us. So it's one of I'm developing a whole list of things that I'd like to do. One of the things that I was told initially when I arrived here was the people really wanted theater. When we did surveys, they wanted theater on the stage. And we didn't have so much. I mean, we have Tri-Valley Rep, we have residents who do things, but we weren't presenting much, and there's no traditional drama going on the stage. And this year we have Dracula coming, which is from LA Theater Works, and I won't give anything away, but next year I already have 3 of the things that I've already booked are theater performances, which I'm very excited about. So, what are the things that go into programming? First, it's economics. Will the ticket sell? How much are the fees for the artists, and what are we going to be able to cover that with our ticket fees? The artistic quality is, of course, very important. Is it original? Is it good? Those are the 2 main questions. And then is the performance going to draw a broader audience, and does it speak to that part of our mission to reach out to a diverse audience? We have, I booked a performance this past summer, Puerto Candelaria, which is a music group doing cumbia music from Colombia. And one of the reasons I did that is because I thought it was important to reach out to the Hispanic community, which we have a large portion of. And we did get, it wasn't a financial success, we probably lost money, but it's something that's important for us to do, and it's important for us to spend that money in that way to reach out to this broader audience. So we'll continue to do that. I also look to see if there are opportunities to collaborate, and I often think of things after the fact, but a couple weeks from now is the Harvest Festival, and I'm thinking next year I'd like to do a red, white, and rhythm and blues performance in conjunction with the Harvest Festival, which would be, I think, a lot of fun. Red, white wine, rhythm and blues. Anyway, one of the keys to what we do, also reaching out to the diverse audience, is we have a huge variety of performers. And on the table, there are programs. I hope everyone picks up one of these and takes a look. But we have a huge amount of variety. We have comedy, we have big band and swing, we have country roots, we have dance, we have family fun, we have film, jazz, holiday performances, classic rock, opera, pop, blues, speaker series, theater, visual arts, and world stage. It's a lot to go through. I mean, some of the highlights are, we have the 40th annual San Francisco Comedy Competition, Paula Poundstone, who I think is really funny. The Second City is coming back as usual. We also have a performer that I worked with in Washington, D.C., this guy named Tim Lee, who was a former scientist who decided he wanted to become a stand-up comedian. And he's very funny, interesting guy, and I think it's a perfect fit for this community, obviously. Yeah. And he's also from California, so it was quite easy for me to get him. So I'm going to just do a sorry, what did I do? Do I hit that again? No. Oh, you're going to do it. Excellent, thank you. We'll buzz through these really quickly. I'm just going to go through a few of the performances, things that I am... So I'll just talk about the things that interested me about these three performances. This one is a film, the Triplets of Belleville, and it's touring the country with the composer of the score and an orchestra. So they perform the score of the show and all the songs on stage while the film is being projected behind them. Foley artists are doing the sound effects for these three women who are dancing. It's a very interesting movie. It's a co-production between a French-Canadian company and a French company. Oscar nominated, the score was. It's jazz-based. This performance is from the Montreal Jazz Festival. So it's something I'm looking forward to, something unusual and blending different art forms. So that's that. And then this is a performance. I lived for 20 years in New York when I was a performer, so part of it is just the sort of New York coolness I was engaged by. But it's also, for me, something that we can do that bridges a generation gap. One of the things that we're trying to do is to bring more young people into the theater. And this is something that is, I think, of interest to our older demographic, but also to the younger one, because it's something, it's very cool. It's very hip. We have a couple of performers coming this year. Pink Martini is one of them, which is of the same type. And I'm hoping to use Pink Martini to sell this show, because they're very similar in style and content, and the same sort of cool factor. And I will just play this because I like it a lot. This is the Hot Sardines. So one of the things that's also interesting about this is this band tours with its own tap dancer who does some of the percussion. It's fun. So the next one is a local group. One of the things that I wanted to focus on is getting some local arts groups to perform on the stage as well. And this is a group called the Ray Charles Project. They are musicians from the Oakland area. And it's not strictly a tribute band. They're doing music that was done by Ray Charles. Two of the performers, the singer tours with Santana. So they're very high-level musicians who just like to get together and play music. One of the things that attracted me to this is, back to the economics, it's a very low fee, so it's a low risk for us. And we're hoping to engage a smaller audience. More local audience, larger audience. And one of the ways that we're looking to make the larger audience, and this is, I spoke to a couple of people about this, but for this particular show, which is on September 5th, I'm issuing a discount code for Rotary. Tell all your friends to use it. $20 tickets. The code is Rotary. $20 tickets, $10 to the artist, and $10 to the Music Scholarship Fund. So the next thing is we have all these resident companies, and a lot of the board members from the resident companies are in this room. So I don't have to go into too much detail, but we've got Livermore Valley Opera, Del Val Fine Arts, Tri-Valley Repertory Theater, Radio Rose Speaker Series, Pacific Chamber Symphony, Livermore Amador Symphony, Valley Dance Theater, Valley Concert Chorale, Cantabella Children's Chorus, and the Sycamore Strings Academy. They're all great to work with. And one of the things, I started meetings with the resident companies every month when I arrived here. And one of the things that we discovered is that a lot of the groups were all going after the same money for education programming, but they also there was a lot of duplication in the work that was being done. So we thought, we could do this education collaborative which we started this year, and it's gonna, this year we're gonna concentrate on the Title I schools in Livermore. Next year we're gonna do all the schools in Livermore, and the year after that we will branch out to the Tri-Valley and beyond. One of the things is that we'll be able to get larger grants from, say, the NEA or the Kresge Foundation, who give money for educational programs. So the resident companies and others, beyond just the people who are at the Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center, we have people in other communities who are interested in joining this collaborative. It eliminates the duplication of work. LVPAC will act as the backbone structure, so we'll collect a lot of the data that's needed, we'll go out after money, and we'll help support. So the key is that we'll be acting to coordinate and communicate and evaluate the programs that are happening. It expands everyone's geographic reach and impact, and as I said, the coordination, evaluation, and communication. And together, I think the goal is that we provide access to every student in the school system to some arts education, whether that's training the teachers to provide it, or actually arts in the classroom provided by the resident companies, who are already doing a lot of that work. Another thing, I think I'm out of time, I want to leave some time for questions, is we've opened up the lobby as a visitor center. We've done 2 trial runs this summer, just to see how it works, and it seems to be working really well. We did it in conjunction with Art on the Green. So the idea is to use existing space with minimal changes and minimal additional cost to give a place for visitors coming to Livermore and the Tri-Valley, a place to pick up information, book tickets, and get the most out of the area. Bring together all interested parties, provide added benefit for artists who exhibit in our gallery. So we'll be able to sell art. There is an income stream. We do get money from selling art in the lobby of the theater. We're also selling books. We're also looking to sell, sort of crafty things, which is popular when we have the downtown art studios. And a lot of those people produce things that they would like an outlet to sell. And then, of course, ticket sales. And to me, the most important thing with the visitor center is getting people through the door, people who would otherwise may never come into the theater, and getting them used to the idea that this is a place where everyone belongs. It's not just for the other people. So I'm excited about that. How can you help? Buy tickets, advocate, tell your friends, family, and representatives, give us money, direct support, it's always nice, volunteer, and let us know, or let me know, what we're doing right or wrong. I will tell you, one of the things that when I first started here, I went to the doctor, we won't go into details, but I went to the doctor, and it's just amazing to me. The minute somebody finds out that I'm the executive director at Livermore Valley Performing Arts Center, and I'm in charge of the Bankhead Theater, they all have advice. And I love getting advice, because I hear things from people and I think, oh wow, that would be great. It would be great. And as I said before, one of the things that I want to do is drive what we're doing on the stage a little more than just being passive and letting the agents come to us and present things. The next is a quote that I just want to leave you with. To encourage literature and the arts is a duty every good citizen owes his country. Anybody have any idea? Who might have said that? Any ideas? No? George Washington. Oh. Which is kind of amazing, actually, when you think about it. So, one last plug before we go, because Chris would kill me. Lobster Clam Bake is coming up on your table. There are envelopes. We're still looking for sponsorships. There are great opportunities for sponsoring things. It's a great event, I hear. This will be my first one, but I'm looking so forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun. We have our first ever award champion for the arts going to Scott Haggerty this year. So it would be great if we could get a table together or something. Everyone should buy their tickets. So I will end, and if there are any questions.
A couple years ago, all we used to be hearing was the Bankhead was in trouble and they closed. How is the Bankhead doing now financially?
I was going to start off this way. The state of the Bankhead is good. It really is. We're in pretty good, pretty sound ground. We are this year, we were budgeted to lose money, but we're not losing as much money as we were budgeted. So that's it's excellent. And there was one month when I made my presentation to the city council when we were missed breaking even by $12. And we were budgeted to lose $30,000. So it was very good. So we were anticipating this year losing money because we have to grow. Next year we will have a balanced budget. Another story. I was at an event and somebody came up to me and he said, so every day when you introduce an act on the stage, you say that 40% of our income is contributed and 60% is earned, which is actually really good for a performing arts center. And he said, so when do you get to the point where you don't have to raise any money? And I said to him, that is never. It's never going to happen. And I realized that he was not originally from this country. He had an accent. And what a lot of people don't understand, particularly people in European countries, is the government supports a lot of their arts. If you go to England, it's the Royal Opera House. The government or the royal family is supporting them. They're not going out and raising money. And when I was in Washington, there was when the economy tanked, it tanked around the world, and we had visitors from the State Department from other countries, from arts groups in other countries, who came to find out, how do you do it? How do you make a case for the money that you need to get from the public, because they were seeing their funds being cut by the government with the austerity. And the George Washington quote is a perfect example. It's so important for us to support the arts, and not just because it's good for the soul and good for the country. It makes economic sense. The arts drive the economy. For every ticket that's sold, $24+ is spent on other things. So the restaurants that are doing well downtown are doing well because we have a performance. The clothing store is doing well because somebody's buying something to go to the theater.
Some time ago, you had a gentleman at Bankhead Theater that talked about the economic impact of having the arts in town. And the theater was filled with people to hear him, but most of them were people who already knew. Is that person coming back, and is there some way that we can publicize and get more of the community to come and hear that news?
That would be great. He was senior moment, I'm trying to remember his name.
Me too.
Cohen, yes. Randy Cohen, who is the Vice President of Americans for the Arts, who did the study that showed how much money is spent. It would be great to have him back and to hear a broader audience to hear that. One of the things that it's hard for us to, it is so often hard to tell that story, what the impact is. But I know that when I go to a restaurant and we have a performance in the banquet, it's busier. They're making more money. And making the case to all these people that it's important for their success, for everyone's success.
The local performing arts groups, the ratio between what it costs and what is earned by tickets, is that similar for all the local groups?
I think that they would be able to speak to it, but my guess is it's about the same, if not tighter. Like I said, we're in pretty good shape with the balance between our earned income and our contributing income. Most companies are about 50-50, and we're at 60-40.
If Bart ever made it to Livermore, would that make a difference in terms of the audience level you would get?
Yes.
I think probably a little bit. I don't think it would be a dramatic change. Most of our audience is relatively local. and they're driving in. Although I do, anecdotally, I talk to people who have come from San Francisco who just think that the Bankhead is a great place to see something. And it's one of the things that we're planning on doing is, rather than promoting the shows that are on the stage, and we still have to do that a little bit, but telling the story of why it's better to see something at the Bankhead. Last one.
Chanticleer comes to our theater and they always walk to the front of the stage and say, this is the best place we sing.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people who have said it's the jewel of Livermore. I mean, acoustically it's beautiful, and it's a warm and intimate space. It's warm and intimate because of the space, but it's also warm and intimate because the staff and the volunteers are all terrific. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I say that to people all the time.
I have something here. Get your choice of bottle of wine or olive oil.
Oh, you should get to take that.
Wine, there you go. All right, thank you.